Welcome back everybody to more Atlas Reactor here on Additional Pylons Games. We're continuing a playthrough with all the different characters, so just a quick beginner's guide, kind of get used to all the different characters. We're continuing through all the firepower, freelancers, and today we've got Gray. Gray is actually one of my favorite characters to try out, and you can see here, champion tracker, so she's very much this Huntress kind of theme, and we'll get into that a little bit more when you see her abilities. So low health, decent damage, pretty good survivability, low difficulty. I think that her survivability is actually a little bit higher than what they might give it, but anyways, let's go ahead and get here into her abilities. So Tracerbolt, 34 direct damage, and tracks the target for 2 turns. Tracked targets are revealed. You gain energy, and you deal additional damage if the target is tracked. So this is where you can already see the Huntress, the Hunter kind of theme going on. So if you're tracking a target, then you deal, a lot of her abilities will deal extra damage to them. So it kind of incentivizes Gray to be an aggressive yet distant firepower freelancer. So again, moving on, Hawk Drone. This is probably the ability that Gray is best known for. So she's able to send out a drone during the blast phase, and any enemies that are along the path of the drone get damaged, 12 damage, unless they're tracked, in which case they take 16 damage. Then on subsequent turns, the drone again will deal damage to anyone that's in that radius. You get energy per enemy hit, and I've gone ahead and gotten the infrared enhancement, so invisible enemies are also damaged. So if you have enemies that are like Nyx, turn invisible, or Pup, or if you have enemies that are in one of the stealth pads around the map, then it'll still damage them. So that's good too. Next we've got Tranquilizer Dart. Launches, it's a free action. This is our prep attack, 4 turn cooldown. Basically, you launch a dart that weakens enemies and reveals them until the end of the turn. They're tracked, you get energy per enemy hit. They're also slowed with the mod that we have. So this is really useful because it's a free action, which means we can track a target and then we can hit them with one of our other abilities, and they're also slowed and weakened. So they're going to do less damage, and any movement that they're trying to do, they're going to only be able to do part of that, which means a lot of times they're going to get caught up in the open. So again, very much that Huntress kind of theme going on here. We got Slip Away. This is our get out of jail free card. 6 turn cooldown. For our dash, you gain some energy. The mod that comes normally with it is Agile Escape, increases the size of the landing area by 1. I've gone ahead and changed that up to Unseen Huntress. You turn invisible until the beginning of the next resolution phase. So you dash, and then enemies don't know where you are. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, I guess. At least I like it. You know, these mods, to each his own, however you want to play it. So Voltaic Cage, this is our ultimate. It's a blast turn attack, and you move your drone. So again, any enemies along the path of the drone are going to take damage, and where your drone lands, it creates a little cage, a little electronic cage, Voltaic Cage, go figure. And any enemies that pass through the cage, they're rooted, they take damage, and I've got the mod that increases the damage by 3. So this is a good way to keep any enemies that are maybe low on health, or enemies that are very aggressive, you know, initiators like Rask or Titus. It's a good way to try and keep them locked down, because if they try and move towards you, then they're going to get rooted the next turn, give you a little bit of mobility ability to get away. So as far as the different abilities, I've gone ahead for prep phase. I've gone Turtle Tech, dash with the shift to get another get out of jail free card, and Brain Juice for our cooldowns. And the reason I do Brain Juice is because Tranquilizer Dart has a 4 turn cooldown, which is medium, but Slip Away is our only dash, and it's got a 6 turn cooldown. So between these two, I like to have the ability to shorten those cooldowns, as well as sometimes it's useful to shorten the Hawk Drone cooldowns, where you're able to shoot it out 1 turn, use that Brain Juice, shoot it out again the next turn, get that movement going. So those are the catalysts, those are the mods and abilities that I use. So let's go ahead and get into the game.
At the ready.
Again, we're doing just a PVE, playing against some bots here, so that way I can show you guys some of the abilities. Again, the bots are a little bit easier to predict than humans most of the time, they're a little bit easier to predict, which allows me to show off some of the different abilities a little bit better for you. So we've got Aurora, Titus, and Nyx for our allies, Lockwood, Finn, Garrison, and Oz as our enemies.
Your team
so as
is
far
ready.
as the strategy for Gray, again, we're very much a single target aggressive Huntress, but at the same time we are going to be we want to stay back and out of the action. We don't have a lot of escape abilities. We don't have a lot of so yeah, first thing, so for example, we're going to shoot Garrison here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my drone to control this area right here.
Nowhere to hide.
So we're going to slow him, weaken him, and we're going to be tracking him.
Time to jam.
Yeah. So I figured that he was going to do that. So now I'm slowed, which is problematic. But he's going to take extra damage, and now you can see my drone here is controlling this area. So any enemies, including Lockwood, if he stays within this area, if Oz or Finn come into this area, they're going to take damage next turn. So if you can use the drone really to do a lot of area control on your enemies. So we can't do anything except for attack here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that, and then we're going to hole up back here.
Reap what you sow.
So that's unfortunate. A lot of us took damage. Even more, and again, I'm slowed. Not the greatest start for us, but you can see just Gray, a lot of times I feel like she's underrated as far as how much damage she's able to do in a single turn, because of a lot of her abilities are just doing little plinks with the Hawk Drone. But then at other times you're able to, if you're tracking a target, you're able to do massive amounts of damage, really. I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I don't like the position I'm in, so I'm gonna slip away. I'm gonna slip away back here, and then I'm going to use my cooldown reduction. So the cooldown reduction doesn't do much. It doesn't do anything on the Hawk Drone, because that'll reset next turn. But it does mean that my tranquilizer dart
Swinging to safety.
I can use that pretty soon, and it reduces the cooldown on slip away as well.
If you stand together, then you'll fall together.
And there we go. Just a little bit of damage here and there.
Got just the thing.
All right.
Out the face.
Adrenaline courses through me.
Okay, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and use our Tracerbolt on Finn, and then we're gonna send our drone to cover this area, and then we're gonna get out of here. Move here.
Nowhere to run.
There we go. So Finn is gonna be slow, weak, and revealed. And
Now streaming
unfortunately, Lockwood is going to escape unharmed. But Finn will take a fair amount of damage.
Why so grubby?
And I'm also taking a fair amount
I
of
make
damage.
these rounds myself.
There we go. Took down Lockwood. Nice job, Nyx. Alright. So we don't have any direct damage that we can do at the point. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, get this healing, and then come back this way.
My generosity is boundless.
Thank you, Aurora. A lot of times, especially when you're in a position where you're not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage, or it's kind of risky,
This is
low risk or high risk, low reward. A lot of times it's better to just sprint.
Replenished.
Probably not the best place I've ever sprinted to, considering. Finn, however, Finn is he's out of escapes. He's out of ways to get away. So we're going to move here, get that energy, and then we're going to move. We're going to
Closing
move like this. Hopefully confuse Garrison just a little.
I'm always a couple of steps ahead.
This
Okay.
one's my stream of unconsciousness.
I feel stronger.
Unfortunately, Aurora goes down, but we'll take down.
Back to the spawning pool.
We're at 100 energy, which means we can do a nice little trap. So we're gonna go ahead and trap right here. So come up and get a little healing. That's fine.
Your eyes playing tricks on you.
I am the hunter. You.
So
Keep your
Garrison
eye on
is
the
trapped.
birdie.
Unfortunately, we are
Shut
slowed.
up.
That's not good. But Garrison moves out like he just did, and Lockwood moved in. Both of them are rooted, which is great. That's good for us. And then we can go ahead and target Lockwood. See if we can't get him. I am a little vulnerable right now, though. So I'm going to go ahead and use my drill tech. Get myself some shield.
Using catalyst.
Catalyst engaged.
What you see is not what you get.
Wow, that was a pretty good bounce there, Lockwood. Yeah, I figured that you were
Let's
going to do
get
that.
creative.
Oz is way down here. You can see there, we did damage from our normal attack, and then we did an additional 25 damage from Titus with his and Nyx coming in handy with his big shot as well. It's good stuff. Alright, we can weaken Finn, and then we're going to move our Hawk Drone down here. Control this area.
Prey
We're gonna move
sighted.
behind cover here. Since we can't get to the house immediately, we're not gonna
You're
put
my
ourselves in
eyes
that
and
risky
ears.
position.
They just want a hug.
You cannot escape your fate.
Alright,
I will not be denied.
Titus doing some good damage. Finn is rooted. Garrison is slowed. And
Rebellious little insects.
Aurora is not in the best position. Say that. Can we? No. Alright, so we're just gonna kinda have to take a shot in the dark here. Hoping maybe that one of our enemies moves in. And let's do this. Give ourselves full movement and some health.
That's not gonna buff out.
Nothing. Alright, that's okay. At least we know that there's no enemies down here at the moment.
Bubbling with excitement.
Mind the flash.
That's
I feel fabulous.
okay. Garrison's got his little leap thing, so I'm thinking that he might leap this way. So let's see if we can't catch him. I'm thinking that he might leap right
Something
here.
for everyone.
Your blood will stain the wastes.
I like that.
Going in, guns blazing.
And knew that he would attack here, go here, but did I get him? I don't think I did. I did. Look at
That's
that.
only the beginning.
So unfortunately, Aurora
The
is going
tide
down,
takes you.
but thankfully, Finn wasted his ult. So that's good for us. All right. I'm in a very vulnerable position, so I'm going to go ahead and use my shift to get out of here. That's a good spot.
Tagged.
Heal thyself.
Second wind.
Kiss in the crosshairs.
There we go. Got our max energy again, so we can use our ult somewhere down here. I'm thinking. Nyx is not in the best spot. He's looking pretty rough, actually. The whole team is looking a little rough. Alright, so we're going to come up here and we want to hit Finn, actually, is the one that we really want to get to. Here it comes through.
Track them down.
So Finn's already pretty well damaged.
Using catalyst.
Nyx, come on. Alright.
I am the hunter. You are the prey.
Go. Finn is down, and then this whole area is controlled for us.
Give it all
Which is
you've
nice.
got.
So we'll come down here, like so. Let's go ahead and weaken him and attack him. So we're going to use our tranquilizer dart, track him, and allow us to do
First,
extra damage to him.
vengeance later.
And hopefully Nyx can finish him off.
Where do you think you're going?
Alright. Wow.
Headshot.
Mark for death.
I'm aiming for your eyes.
So there we go. That's the game. Got the last kill on Garrison.
More.
Good stuff.
Quicken.
Victory.
So there's a little bit of Gray. In PvP matches, Gray a lot of times sits very far back, out of sight, and basically just uses her hawk to move around and control the area. She's pretty fragile, so just something to keep in mind here. I played a little bit more aggressively when it comes to bots, but with Gray in PvP matches, a lot of times what I'll do is just sit back, hang out, allow my hawk to control the area, and then of course use my other abilities as needed. But a lot of times it's much more more defensive, even though Gray is intended to be very much a single target DPS. So just something to keep in mind. That's another guide, another freelancer guide here on Additional Pylons Games. Hit like and subscribe. Check out some of the other series going on the channel. Connect with me on Twitter if you want to get updates and start a conversation that way. So thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time here on APG.